was also taken into custody. Well, EFCC had announced last week that an Abuja court had dropped the money laundering charges against Gambayan to allow him to seek medical treatment abroad. Well, the decision prompted Joe Biden to call Tinubu to thank him for the release of his citizen. I mean, this news has made headlines across Nigeria, but let me take some reactions. This is from
this channel. Not only feed your eyes with good movies, we also bring you the hottest and the newest trend around the globe. My darlings, sit tight and enjoy this one.
Joining us now is Ojineka Ojiokpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinx.
Good morning, Dr.
I see you are smiling.
I have to smile. You know how to ginger my morning. How are you this morning?
I'm good.
Perfect.
No, you
good
came
morning.
with your own ginger this
Yes.
morning. You came with your own ginger this
Well,
morning.
you know, I always do.
Yeah, good to see you
Good
looking
to see
better,
you.
feeling better.
Yes, yesterday
Yeah.
I was a little bit down, but I had like maybe 17 hours sleep, so that
Brilliant.
was excellent.
That's
Yes, I
excellent.
had to.
I love that.
I had to, and you know, I feel much better. How are you, our favorite
Fantastic.
wife?
I'm so happy.
Perfect.
So happy.
Perfect. Well, all right. Let's begin. Good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending. Reactions have trailed the 30-minute phone call by United States President Joe Biden, which he made with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Tuesday, thanking him for the release and recent withdrawal of criminal charges against Tigran Gambaryan, the head of financial crimes compliance at Binance, who was held in custody for 8 months over money laundering charges to the tune of $35.4 million and tax evasion. Gambayan, who is a U.S. citizen, was arrested in February during a business trip to Nigeria and faced serious charges of money laundering and tax evasion, which he denied. His arrest was compounded by the escape of his colleague, Nadeem Anjawala, the former Africa regional manager for Binance, who was also taken into custody. Well, EFCC had announced last week that an Abuja court had dropped the money laundering charges against Gambayan to allow him to seek medical treatment abroad. Well, the decision prompted Joe Biden to call Tinubu to thank him for the release of his citizen. I mean, this news has made headlines across Nigeria, but let me take some reactions. This is from Rita, who wrote, "This is one of the best things to happen to you as a United States citizen, prioritizing the well-being and security of her citizens first before any other thing. Just imagine your life as a Nigerian today. Does your government care about you? The answer is absolutely no. Rather, they are looting money for their 10th generations to come." Well, Dal wrote, "Tigran Gambayan broke the laws of Nigeria, which is causing the nation billions in dollars, and wasn't persecuted because the almighty USA intervened in Nigeria's judiciary process, but the USA will enforce the extradition of criminals from Nigeria to USA to face persecution." Another tweet there goes, "While the US got Nigeria to drop the charges brought against its citizen, the Binance executive Tigran Gambayan, who made Nigeria lose billions of dollars, Nigeria has done nothing to protect Allen Onyema of Air Peace, the nation's biggest airline, which is employing thousands of Nigerian citizens, from an indictment that U.S. prosecutors admitted in a U.S. court in 2022 that Onyema never caused any bank or institution in America to lose money. Tinubu should have asked the U.S. to drop the charges against its own citizen in the spirit of the MLAT signed by both countries. How can any Nigerian ever be proud of this country?" Well, Dr. Abati, we will discuss this, but you know that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, in a statement released on Tuesday, said that the call also focused on collaboration between Nigeria and the U.S., especially in law enforcement, and the implications of the recent case involving cryptocurrency exchange. He added that Biden also expressed strong support for Nigeria's aspiration for a permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council, highlighting Nigeria's leadership role in Africa and its contributions to global peacekeeping efforts. Dobati.
Well, I don't see what the hoopla is all about. I mean, two presidents whose countries have bilateral relations. Nigeria is a partner of the United States, speaking with each other for 30 minutes, and there's so much excitement on the Nigerian side. We were told that the US president spoke to our president for 30 minutes. And what is the readout from the Nigerian side, from the Minister of Foreign Affairs? One, Gambayan, the compliance officer with Binance, who had been in detention since February, and 8 months, have been taken to the Federal High Court. Another man, Anjawala, who was arrested along with him, said to have dual nationality, Kenya and US. He escaped from detention under circumstances that remain very embarrassing to Nigeria. And then there was pressure from the American side that, Gambayan was ill, his wife said he was not being well treated, members of the House of Reps of the United States said he should be released, in a matter in which the Nigerian government had been saying that, look, Nigeria was defrauded as a result of foreign exchange transactions. Exactly. And now, because of pressure from the United States, Gambayan has been released. EFCC is saying the case is still continuing. They will still call witnesses. In other words, the optics is that the US was able to put pressure on Nigeria to release their own citizen because they say he's an American. Okay, what is the Nigerian end of it? What is the readout of the phone call between Nigeria and the US president? And then we're told, the US president said Nigeria will be supported with UN Security Council permanent seat, as if Nigeria is a child, and all that kind of a patronizing statement. So this is a concern here. In other words, why did Nigeria have to release Gambayan? Is the case going to get to a dead end? Is Nigeria, because Nigeria is relating with a superior power, trying to adjust its own laws? Because there's nothing in the Nigerian law that says if you are a foreigner, if you are from the United States, you can come and violate our own laws in Nigeria. That's where I'm left confused. And as for the people who are showing undue excitement, over the matter, over the press release, I think there's more to this that we don't know yet. Otherwise, a phone call between Biden and President Tinubu shouldn't cause this unnecessary excitement. We're two equal sovereign states, and that should be borne in mind. And if it is true that Gambayan was released and charges were dropped against him because America is a superior power, that's a very unfortunate development.
Well, that's an unfortunate development. You made that right point, and you heard the Twitter users allude to that fact that the United States are very protective of their citizens, especially that tweet that they talked about Gambayan causing billions of dollars in Nigeria. And I did read that an Abuja court actually dropped the charges because he claimed to be ill as well, so that he can go treat himself. But can I read? The
reported readout, they've told us what President Biden told President Tinubu. What did President Tinubu say to him? They couldn't have spoken for 40 minutes and it will be a one-way conversation. What did our president say?
They said it's 30 minutes.
Whether it's 30 or 40 minutes. What did our president say?
Can we pull up Joe Biden's tweet? Joe Biden wrote in his tweet yesterday that earlier I spoke with President Tinubu of Nigeria to express my condolences on the floods impacting his country and my appreciation for his leadership in securing the humanitarian release of Tigran Gambayan. We also spoke about the value of our partnership. Like I said, the Minister of Foreign Affairs had, highlighted that meeting or having Nigeria secure a seat at the UN Security Council. Let me take a reaction to that comment as well. This is from Mudiga, who wrote, "The mention of a permanent seat in the UN for Nigeria or another African country aligns with recent calls for reform, but the U.S. has historically been slow to support substantial change in global power structures. Africa's economic and security interests, especially around issues like law enforcement, cooperation, and cryptocurrency regulation, are often shaped by U.S. priorities. For Africa to truly benefit from such partnership, it will require mutual respect and genuine collaboration rather than one-sided benefits or tokenized future of the world rhetoric. In summary, while the conversation reflects positive engagement, many Africans will likely watch closely for actions, not just words, to ensure the partnership yields real, tangible benefits. Ayo, a quick comment on that.
Tangible benefits. For me, the big takeaway from this conversation is how America protects its own.
Yes.
Whether it's individuals, whether it's citizens, whether it's businesses, America protects its own. And that's one lesson I think that Nigeria and the rest of Africa should borrow relief from. I say this because, and I'm glad that Dr. Bati mentioned that, what was our own president's end of the conversation. I say this because we also have pending cases of notable business people operating in America that if we're talking about relief and humanitarian considerations, the president should have also put our own business people forward. And that's why I like the tweet about Allen Onyema and Airpeace. We have to come to a point here. We can say, at the end of the day, America has stood for Americans. Whether it's disadvantageous to us or not, when the president calls, it is for the benefits of their own people. But in Nigeria, the moment we hear of a business or an individual in trouble, we are quick to amplify it and fan the flames, instead of learning and actually seeing what it means to stand for your people and stand for your businesses, especially if you look at the contributions they make to, number of jobs that they give, make to the GDP. It is very important. And so when it comes to diplomatic relationships, everybody is going there selfish. What is in it for my country? It's time for us in Nigeria and as Africans to begin to go to the table with that mindset. We are not like we are equal partners. And we must continue to remember that Nigeria is America's biggest trade partner on the African continent. We have bragging rights. It's just that we sometimes see ourselves that grasshopper mentality, that we are smaller or we're inferior. And so we always give them the higher power when it comes to bargaining. When we're bargaining, especially when we have an opportunity to do so, put Nigeria first. Absolutely. Put our interests first all the time.
Absolutely. Ayo, well said. Put Nigerians first. Well, my producer is saying that we have to go on a short break. And when we return, What's Trending on the Morning Show will continue. Stay with us. All right, we're continuing on What's Trending. Africa's richest man and founder of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, on Tuesday, condemned the importation of petroleum products from overseas, saying that the Dangote Petroleum Refinery currently has over 500 million liters of petrol available for sale, and urged marketers and the NNPC to patronize his products. Dangote spoke after a meeting with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his committee on crude oil and refined product sales in local currency.
We are producers. I have a refinery. I'm not in the business of retail. If I'm in the business of retail, then you hold me responsible. But what I'm saying is that the retailers should please come forward and pick. If they don't come forward and pick, what do you want me to do? That's nothing that I can do. So I am expecting either NNPC or the marketers to stop importing. They should come and collect. We have what they need. And, as they remove, I'll be pumping. I don't know whether you understand what it takes to keep 500 million liters inside our tank. It's costing me money. Every day, if I will be able to collect the naira, I can actually charge somebody 32% in interest. So right now, that's what I'm losing. And you are talking about 500 billion. We don't print money, but the issue is that if they come and collect, then you will not see any queues in the filling stations. We have what it takes for them to come and collect. We are not retailers. We also don't have trucks to send. We have a factory where we can load. If they come and pick, they will go and distribute. And they've been doing that with importation. So if they have been doing that with the importation, if it's true they are doing 55 million, I see no reason why they won't come and collect our own and distribute.
Very strong statement there from Alhaji Aliko Dangote. I know you discussed this earlier on the headline news, but I'd like to take reactions from Nigerians, from his statement. This is from Clement, who wrote, "Why are marketers and NNPC not buying petrol from Dangote? How much was crude sold to Dangote, and how much is Dangote willing to sell petrol to marketers? These are questions all Nigerians should be seeking immediate answers to from the federal government, Dangote, and marketers." Well, King wrote, "Dangote is indirectly exposing NNPC corruption over the years. They have been inflating petrol import and petrol use in the country. Now you have petrol in the country, but they still want to import so that they can continue oppressing the masses and continue their corruption practices." But Bayo Ononuga also summed up this meeting, and I'll read his statement in part. He wrote, "The president urged stakeholders to look inward and consider supplying enough petrol and petroleum products for local consumption to stop the persistent reliance on importation. He said this would enable the channeling of foreign exchange into the development of the real sector. The president advised stakeholders to use Afrexim Bank as a settlement bank to resolve the Naira pricing for crude and..."
You're watching Nolly Magic TV. My joy is to keep you updated with the latest gist. And your joy should be subscribing to this channel and giving this video a thumbs up, please.
Refined products. Afrexim Bank is already on board as the financial advisor. Ononuga quoted the president as saying, "The market must determine what we are doing. Once you allow the market to determine the profit and loss, independent marketers and the government side can meet on the worksheet. I want the issues resolved without future waste of time. We can have energy security, and the motivation for Alhaji Aliko Dangote will not be defeated. It will be more predictable on the medium and long-term basis." I mean, I like the president's statement there. Bimbai.
Yep, and as we said earlier, there's a number of factors, moving pieces in all of this. Of course, the big question is, why don't the marketers want to buy from Dangote? So it's double-sided, right? Some people are still saying, well, we want some transparency from Dangote as well. Can he advertise his price? But on the other hand, the fuel is there 500 million liters, and you prefer to go and import. And what I said earlier in the morning is that Ghana have expressed an interest in importing Dangote's fuel into Ghana because they know that it will reduce the price of their own fuel domestically. So the conversations that need to be had around this issue are, there's clearly still arbitrage in the system. Where is the arbitrage? Who is doing it? Who's benefiting from it? And how do we cut it out once and for all? Because somebody is lying. We don't know who yet, but we'll get to the bottom of it. Somebody is being dishonest.
Absolutely. Well said, Vimbai. Very well said. Well, in another development, members of the House of Representatives last week criticized the Minister of Works, David Umahi, over Nigeria's deteriorating road infrastructure. The ministry's Director of Bridges, Bede Obiora, who represented the Minister of Works, had cited funding constraints as the primary cause for the poor road infrastructure during a House Hearing Committee meeting. Well, the chairman of the Committee on FEMA, Remi Oseni, vehemently rebuffed the minister's defense and challenged the claim that resource scarcity was to blame. Let's take a look.
You are not here to come and tell us what you already knew in the area of resources. So if you are telling us the reason why you have failed in fixing our road infrastructure is because of resources, don't let me take you up there. Because you concentrated your energy as a minister on less priority issues. Don't discuss resources. I say it again. If you are addressing these roads, existing roads, with the resources that you have, sir, Honorable Minister, we will not be where we are. Don't discuss resources. I say it again. You came here last year, you got 300 billion budget approval, supplementary approval. Don't raise my emotion. I am worried that you are not concerned about fixing Nigerian roads. Stop telling us you are awarding road. We don't want you to be awarding road that you are not ready to do. How can you be telling us that there is no resources? In less than 1 minute, from everything that everybody has said. It's a clue. You have no plan for us as a nation. I was wondering what was used as benchmark for your appraisal.
Very strong statement there. Wow. I can see you opening your eyes, Ayo. Wow. But you know David Mahi was not there because you know there would have been an exchange of words. But he's responded though. He said that he's refrained from speaking with Mr. Oseni there, and you know, out of respect for Tajuddin Abbas. He also said that he is quite dangerous to the 10th Assembly. But I don't believe, I mean, a lot of Nigerians will definitely agree with Oseni. Well, in the meantime, in Anambra State, Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo last week explained why he is yet to fulfill his campaign promise of making the state the Dubai Taiwan of Nigeria. Well, Soludo spoke at an event last week stating that education is needed to bring his campaign promise to reality and that turning Anambra State into Dubai and Taiwan cannot be achieved with an illiterate population. Let's take a look.
When we say Anambra vision African Dubai Taiwan, mana even the mother when they talk Dubai Taiwan, but you know overnight skyscrapers nine ade abule beni na no ya Dubai Taiwan on the development and the foundation of Taiwan. Access to qualitative education. Taiwan, natural resources. The road to Taiwan begins from there. You cannot get to Taiwan with illiterate population. And I will decide for Anambra to become the Taiwan of tomorrow. We have to lay the foundation today.
Professor Chukwuma Soludo. I mean, there are some comments online. They will say, do you know how many illiterates are in Taiwan? Yeah. Plenty illiterates are in Taiwan as well. But I mean, he's talking about illiteracy and lack of education in his state. Dr. Abati.
Okay, look, the point was very well made in the Western region under the leadership of Chief Obafemi Awolowo, that for you to have real development, you have to educate the people.
Yes.
And that was what changed the equation in Nigeria. Education program in the Western region. You find the East also jumping on the bandwagon. The North jumped on the bandwagon in 1959. Education, education, education. So when Governor Soludo, who happens to be an educationist also, a professor, an economist, says education, qualitative education is important. And then quality teaching. Teachers being taken care of. That you need that to create that substratum for development in your state. I think he has a solid point there. The question to ask him is that, what has he done since he got to office, since he knows that education is important? What has he done in that direction? Are teachers well paid in Anambra State? Are the schools in good condition? It's not enough to know the solution. It's to apply the solution. The second thing, of course, is that he promised during the election period that he was going to turn Anambra State into the Dubai Taiwan of the East. Well, Anambra probably has the largest number of billionaires in Nigeria. Yeah. He was telling them at that time, come home and invest. Don't take all our wealth from Anambra State to other parts of Nigeria. What has he done? How many of those billionaires has he been able to attract? But what he's saying is that, look, you can't build Rome in a day. You know, he needs more time to be able to do it. And I think that it will soon be election time in Anambra. So this is a very clever, very smart way of saying that, well, there are foundations we still need to lay. Yes. So a tricky way of saying, I need a second term to do
so
a lot more.
So our Anambra indigenous more educated, so we can
on the principle,
get skyscrapers.
Very fine. But I think there's a political undertone. Yeah. The man wants a second term in office.
Well, all right, well said. Well, in another development, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Tuesday debunked reports circulating on social media that he had filed a lawsuit to prevent the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission from arresting and prosecuting him after his tenure over alleged misconduct. The report was debunked in a statement released by the state's Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice, Lawal Pedro, who confirmed that Sanwo-Olu did not sue the EFCC in any court. The statement further emphasized that the governor, who still has nearly 3 years left in office and enjoys immunity, has not been investigated or contacted by the EFCC regarding any allegation. I guess that sets it straight. Ayo, your state governor, is not being investigated by the EFCC. I'm glad that this statement came out, because when I saw it, I'm like, no, this can't happen. Is this, I mean, you have not even finished your second term, you're already stopping the EFCC from investigating you.
Yeah.
Well,
the lawyers who instituted this also be investigated by the NBA.
Yes.
Because if they took it upon themselves to act on behalf of the governor, then there's something really not right about this. As I said, it's quite funny.
Well,
I'm glad I did.
I'm glad he has debunked that claim. Ayo Bimba, I would like for you guys to quickly touch on this next story. Why are you looking at me?
Church girl?
Yes, of course. But you know that, and it's a quick one.
Somebody else on the table, not just me.
Well, let's take another story. The Redeemed Christian Church of God has suspended 2 of its pastors following allegations of homosexuality, which has now gone viral on social media. The national overseer of the church, Sunday Akonde, ordered a thorough investigation into the matter. One of the accused, Pastor Ayorinde Adebello, denied the allegations on Instagram, stating that he never engaged in sodomy with male teenagers. Adebello also clarified that his initial silence was misconstrued as admission of guilt, prompting his response. Our favorite Niger wife, this allegation, I mean, it's good that one of the pastors have come out to debunk it, but homosexuality in Nigeria.
You know what? I think there's so much that goes on in the church, in corporate organizations, and so there's a lot around the story, because I know it's part of an expose that has been happening from, I believe it's Just Lover, or one of these blogs online who has been, sharing lists of people with various allegations. I don't think this is the platform to give that too much mileage. When it comes to the church, however, I think it's always good to see the structure take accountability, take action, do investigation, and so forth, because it's very important that we don't scare away our sheep. Our sheep still need to come into church and feel safe. So let the process run its course. And just a reminder that individuals are individuals, they're not God, and individuals are not the church either, so people shouldn't be afraid of going to church.
Well said. Ayo, a quick comment. Male teenagers was the accusation.
Very grave allegations. Important to mention allegations, but I think the church has acted responsibly by coming out with, it was an internal memo that leaked, coming out to say that while investigations are ongoing, because of the graveness of the allegations, he and the other people mentioned we put on suspension. He has come out to deny it. I think it's also important to state his own side of the story. So I hope a robust, fair investigation will be instituted, and that if found guilty, appropriate measures will be taken. And if found not guilty, I hope he'll be able to redeem his reputation, which is in tatters currently. Absolutely. That's a sad thing.
Absolutely. Well, all right. Well said, both of you. Dr. Abati, I'm excusing you from this story. Well, all right. Well, before we end what's trending today, let's highlight the recipient of one of United Kingdom's most esteemed civic recognitions, Olori Ivie Atuwase III, wife of the Olu of Warri, who was conferred with the Freedom of the City of London Award in our Good News Report. The Freedom of the City of London Award dates back to 1237. It is one of the oldest surviving traditional ceremonies still in existence today, symbolizing a unique bond between the City of London and its most distinguished recipients. The award recognizes individuals who have exceptional contributions to society, embodying values of leadership, courage, and philanthropy. The award has been conferred on notable figures, including Winston Churchill, Queen Elizabeth II, Nelson Mandela, Stephen Hawking, and Princess Diana all over the weekend in a rare honor that celebrates her transformative leadership and her commitment to amplifying Africa's authentic narratives on the global stage. Olori Ivie Atuwase III was conferred with the award in an illustrious ceremony held at Guildhall in the United. What a beautiful, beautiful honor to our queen. You know I'm from Delta State. Yes, she's our queen.
Well, congratulations to the Queen Consort of Warri Kingdom, Olori Ivie Atuwase III. And this award was given for her transformative leadership. And also for projecting the African narrative on the global stage. She has the Elevate Africa.
Yes.
She has the Iwere Foundation, where she promotes positive stories about our humanity and also a sense of community, and then supporting, you know, the royal father of the Iwere Kingdom.
Always.
So it's well deserved.
Yeah.
And she's an excellent, distinguished company.
Absolutely.
And I hope that the people of Warri Kingdom will realize that this has implications. From the Iwere Kingdom all the way to Lagos.
Well, I'd like to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending.
Thank you for having stayed to the end of this video. You made me really happy. One more thing, click on the notification bell so anytime I make a video, you will be the first to be notified. See you on the next one.